This is the culmination of a decade-old dream, an 8-year journey, and a 3-year refit.
We've just left the United States in our 36-foot sailboat to cross the Gulf Stream to the Bahamas.
It's surreal. To dream, to yearn for something for so many years.
There were doubts, there were tears, there was a moment where we almost gave up.
But through it all, the thought of this moment, this very moment, is what kept us going.
We made it to the Bahamas!
This is unreal.
Yeah.
After, I don't even know what to say. We built this boat back up from a skeleton.
Over the course of a few years, for those of you who have followed the journey, you know it had a pretty rough beginning.
Gosh.
We didn't know where it was going to take us.
If you haven't already, go back and watch our first video. That might give you a better idea of where we started and what this boat was just 3 years ago and how close we came to giving up for good reason.
We didn't know if this was going to happen, and the three of us pulled it off. And we've had a really fun time. Our whole ICW journey, we weren't filming. We took our time down the East Coast and we stopped at some special places. We've already met so many amazing people, fellow cruisers, and we're excited for all the people we're going to continue running into in the Bahamas. But we know that we have a really exciting road ahead.
The ICW trip was amazing. It was a bit of a slog after a while. It was very repetitive, which I think is why we didn't film. I don't think it would have been that interesting to watch. It was just a lot of motoring. It was a really cool experience, but probably not as fun to turn into a YouTube episodes. Plus, we were just getting used to everything. We don't want to sit here and just make excuses for why we didn't film, but we didn't film.
And a lot of it
we were taking it all in.
Yeah, we were taking it in, and we were having that time to ourselves, which is fine.
Speaking of which, we got engaged.
Yeah, and we didn't want to film that.
Yeah. So we're engaged. Surprise.
Yeah.
But now that we're here, we do want to start filming again, hence this episode. We'll see how long we go for. We don't have a Patreon or anything, so we don't want to have the pressure to have to pump out content. If you guys are loving what you're seeing, please let us know, and maybe we'll consider making this more full-time. But for now, we're just doing it as we do it. And tomorrow, we are going to go to a shipwreck called the Wreck of the Sapona, and we cannot wait to jump in this crystal clear water and do some snorkeling and film it for you.
Yes!
motor sailing back up from the wreck of the Sapona. The wind is supposed to blow southeast all night, so we're gonna find an anchorage up on the northwest side of the island and hope we can find some flat water up this way for the night. shined this light overboard to look in the water, and all these fish started coming up to the light.
Do you see that?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
It looks like grass.
What? Well, I was right. This anchorage is protected from the southeast winds, but it is not protected from the 1 to 2 foot swell that's rolling up the Strait of Florida. You can't tell on camera, probably, maybe if you watch the plants, but we're pretty rolly right now. It's not terrible, but we were hoping for some flat, calm water, and we didn't get it. So it's not the best anchorage we've ever had. It's also not the worst. Scout doesn't seem to mind too much, so. It's also pretty warm, so I'm sleeping here in our dinette, which we can convert into a bunk. Janie's up forward in the V-berth tonight, and tomorrow we're going to cross the Great Bahama Bank over to the Berry Islands. We really wanted to spend more time in Bimini, but there aren't a lot of great anchorage options here, and with the weather that we have coming, we probably would have ended up having to pay for a slip in a marina somewhere. So we're gonna move on tomorrow, and I think we're really gonna start taking our time once we get up to the Berries, which is needed. Good morning from our very rolly anchorage. It wasn't actually too bad. How'd you sleep?
I slept pretty well until around 5 a.m. when I think the fishermen come out and there was a lot of boat wake in addition to the swell. But we're going to head north and cut around the island, and we're taking the Great Bahama Bank Passage, which is a pretty popular route when you're headed to the Berries. We've got a really good weather window to stop at Mackie Shoal tonight after about 6 to 7 hours of hopefully really nice chill sailing. I think it'll be really interesting because we're so used to sound sailing, and what's crazy about this bank is that it's a huge mass of open water in between islands, and it maintains 10 to 20 feet depth.
Yeah, in spots
Maybe.
it'll get as shallow as the Mackie Shoal has a bank that's like 6 feet deep.
Yeah, so it's basically
but we'll be sailing through mostly 20 feet of water.
It's basically a big sound, which is definitely a form of sailing that we're used to. I'm excited to see sort of our version of the Pamlico Sound on the Outer Banks with much prettier water and
much better
reef.
fish.
Yeah, we're gonna fish too, so.
All right, Scout's ready to go.
Yeah, we gotta go.
All right, this is sick. This is one of the few times this entire trip we've been able to get our sails up and cut the motor off. Our entire trip down the ICW was such a race for time that even if we had wind to sail, it was never quite fast enough to get to our next destination with enough daylight to anchor and get ourselves situated. So this feels so good right now. I feel like this is sort of the moment we've been waiting for, to cut the engine off, have the sails up. We're cruising 4.5 to 5 knots. However, we are gonna have to turn probably into the wind soon. I don't know how long this will last, but for now, it's amazing. Let that one go completely off. Start pulling on that one. Wait. Let it fill. Keep it on the winter, it's gonna pull you. Yeah. Good job. All right, we are.
Cleat it?
No idea what this is. Hope it's not a barracuda.
Barracuda. How's the belt?
So much better.
Good.
It's not crazy strong.
How much line did you have out?
Not a ton. This won't take too long. Well, he took a bit because I can't believe that thing bit right when we were trying to tack.
Do you want me to grab the net?
Let me see what it is first. I might need you to grab the gas. Oh, you got the gas.
I predict skipjack.
I don't think they're this shallow.
Barracuda.
Could definitely be a cuda. Oh, he's not giving up.
No. It's a
mutton snapper! It's a nice mutton too. Oh, yes. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
I did not expect to catch one of these. Oh! That is a beautiful mutton.
Nice work. Right when we were tacking.
I am so stoked right now. Okay, this is so sick. This is exactly what we dreamed about when we planned this trip. There's been plenty of moments so far that have sucked, like sucked really bad, some of them, and I'm sure we're gonna capture that on film too, now that we're trying to film again. But we just gotta say, this is like insane. Got a mutton snapper trolling, which I was not expecting at all. Caught it at the exact moment we were tacking.
Mid-tack.
Which was crazy.
We handled that smoothly. It's amazing not having time constraints for all of you who are maybe making your way south on the ICW and with offshore jumps. I promise you it's all worth it once you get down here.
There were moments where I was like, there were moments on the ICW in our first couple offshore passages where I was like, this is so not what I imagined this to be. And I had moments where I was like, that's okay. Well, you know, we'll do this trip and then maybe never sail again.
Ay, ay, ay.
But this is sick.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble, if you're just getting started and you are struggling, but this is your dream, keep going, because this is so worth it.
And it's the high highs and the low lows. You can't
part of the journey.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
To Mackie Shoal.
We are in the middle of nowhere. This Mackie Shoal is a sandbank in the middle of the Great Bahama Bank, and we can't see land anywhere. I think the closest land is still Bimini, which is like 40 miles away, and it's just a crazy sandbank in the middle of nowhere that you can anchor off of on any trip across the bank. A lot of people do the whole thing in one go, but it's cool to have this option.
When you have the right conditions, this just could not be better.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. This is the epitome of a fair weather anchorage. You cannot, well you can, but you do not want to anchor here if there's very much wind or swell from any direction. And the reason we left Bimini when we did was because I saw this weather window was just gonna be perfect to overnight here. So I think it's gonna be a very beautiful evening.
The ultimate taste test. The Scout like mutton snapper.
Oh yeah. Pass.
Wait.
Get it, Scout.
Okay, we need to clean that.
Pass. What are you doing? Scout, eat your snapper. How are you feeling?
Really good.
What are you drinking?
I make us Hornitos tequila with fresh lime squeezed and quality ginger beer. Lots of ice cubes in a proper glass. Always. I feel like we are the only people on the entire planet right now. I think that we're a good match because we both love that feeling.
So many moments where we were in the busy streets of St. Augustine during Christmas or Miami trying to get our COVID tests.
Or the Outer Banks during the summer.
Sometimes it's just so hard being around a lot of other humans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we're in the safest place we could possibly be right now.
We are not getting COVID out here. Unless a sea turtle has it.